Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video as my reviews of the Marvel Legends Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave swing on with the first of this wave's two web-slinging heroines. It's Silk. On one side of the packaging we see our other web-slinging heroine Spider Bitch, and then on the opposing side it's Silk, named after spider silk, the protein fibre spun by spiders. Hey, it was either that or we end up with our umpteenth Spider-Woman or Spider-Girl. Speaking of which is how Spider Bitch is referred to on the packaging back here, but we'll get into that when it's her turn for the spotlight. In the meantime, the two share a brief bio which reads, "These fierce females fight for justice with quick reflexes, super strength and classic web-slinging action." Then pictured is the Venom Build-A-Figure of the wave, and the action figures in the wave you will need to collect to build him are Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Electro, Silk as we have here, Spider Bitch and Hobgoblin. So here is Silk out of packaging, debuting only a couple of years ago. I think Marvel intended her to be the biggest thing since sliced Deadpool, but then overshadowed somewhat by Spider-Gwen, who fans took to like flies on a spiderweb. To Marvel's credit though, they're sticking with Silk, as here she is in plastic and also the star of a very own comic book, which feel free to pipe up in the comments if you've read both of them, but I hear Silk's is actually better than Spider-Gwen's. But what got Silk off on the wrong foot with me is that I can get precious about Marvel history and I don't like characters being forced into it, which Silk was, with her being bitten seconds after by the same radioactive spider that bit Peter Parker. Then to explain her absence in the rest of Marvel history over the last, 50 years, she was locked away in a bunker. Now somebody likes to write their comics while watching Netflix's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, don't they? I guess it was either that or her backstory be she's a fancy New York socialite who gets sent to prison. Yet now raising Silk in my esteem is this costume design, her original one leaving her looking like what happens when you plan poorly for your Halloween costume and only have toilet paper to hand. But this, the simplicity of the black, emphasises her sleek but sultry form, and the deco for the spider web pattern on her chest is really quite impressive, with a red spray effect that diffuses into black as the web lines extend down her torso. Hang on, is that a stylized S in the centre of the web? Now, where would they get such an idea? Taking a closer look, and her long hair is sculpted with a pleasing to the eye flow, some dry brushing to accentuate the sculpt and create lighter tones to the black, but it is a bit overdone, leaving her looking like her hair is less black and more grey. In colour, her red mask ties into the costume design and lends a mysterious allure, feels quite ninja-like. Actually quite reminiscent of Elektra from Netflix's Daredevil. Hang on, I'm seeing a trend here. Seems the comic artist joined the writer once he was done with Kimmy Schmidt and they both watched Daredevil. She comes with an interchangeable head, and not just that, as she also comes with her half-mast scarf that you can hang around her neck. That's noteworthy, as often the more obscure characters aren't really afforded this kind of consideration. Now Silk is Asian American. I'm not sure that comes across in the sculpt, but I guess it's balancing honouring a heritage and not insensitively making it a racial caricature. Regardless, I'm calling it. Silk gives the best head of all lady legends. Pretty bold statement, but I feel it combines an attractive sculpt with a considered deco for the eyes. I hope this is a sign of change that will get more lady legends with eyes not applied pin the tail on the donkey style. Now looking at her articulation, and her hair has been sculpted in a way so it doesn't entirely inhibit articulation, so her hair does rotate side to side. Then she is able to look down this much, but looking up, well, a little bit, but not so much because of her hair. At the shoulder, her arm rotates and then it moves up to just slightly more than a right angle to the body. I hope one day the Lady Legends graduate to a double jointed elbow, but for now they have rotation and effectively a single joint at the elbow, and then the hands rotate and they're hinged moving down and up. Now on the subject of her hands, I forget who asked me, but somebody did ask if her splayed fingered hand is the same as Beetle's, and yes it is, and as you can see her other hand is a clenched fist. Yet it's good she has at least one hand with widely splayed fingers, as she actually shoots webbing from her fingertips, so this is essentially her in a web shooting pose. She has no waist rotation, but she does have in lieu of that a rotating diaphragm joint, which does move very slightly forward and then moves this far back. And then the diaphragm joint is also able to rock side to side. At the hips, her legs move out to the side, not very much at all, but they move much further forward and don't really move back. There's upper leg rotation followed by a double jointed knee, and then at the ankle her feet are hinged, moving backwards and forwards, and she has that crazy ankle rocker pivot that I love. And taking advantage of that ankle pivot, with this being her widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor. So all things considered, and some really nice sculpting and deco, makes Silk a surprise hit. Sure, I'd rather see that high level turned towards characters I'm more fond of, crossing my fingers for Rogue, Phoenix and Kitty in the forthcoming X-Men wave, but back to Silk, and I think the biggest compliment I can give an action figure is that it can make me want to invest more in the character beyond it being just a lump of plastic, and to this Silk I'm giving that compliment. Anyway, if you missed my previous review, Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, click the video on the left and stay tuned as I'm sandwiching the first of our evil adversaries, Hobgoblin, in between the two web-slinging heroines. Hey, don't look at me like that, it's Hasbro making these names up, not me. And please give this video a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.